Hi, it's Jen. Welcome to my channel, Regenerate, and thanks for being here. I'm a new mom, and I started this channel to explore the changes in life with becoming a new mom and finding who I am as a person now in my creative outlets, in motherhood, and in career. Since my last video, I have had a couple of opportunities to work on some creative outlets. I've been doing a little bit of drawing. I took an online drawing workshop that was focused on critiquing. So we had an instructor that we would draw during the course, and then the instructor would critique it. And the rest of the class could also critique each other's work. And it was really nice to have just that set time to work on a drawing and get some feedback from others and be able to have that creative time set aside. And it was a Zoom class, so that made it doable for me, since I've been feeling that it's difficult to commit to anything that's in person that's more than an hour or two. So that was perfect for me to be able to get in some creative time and not stress too much about having to get out of the house for that. I also did a drawing for my husband for his birthday gift this year. Instead of buying stuff, because we have too much stuff, I wanted to get him something that was very personal and that he could enjoy without having more things. So I drew him a picture of him with my daughter at the beach. We took a family trip and had a great photo of the two of them on the beach together. So I drew that picture of that photograph for him, and he really appreciated it. So it was fun for me to be able to do some art and get that creativity going, which is something that I had really been missing, and that was wonderful. Now I've been just casually looking for more opportunities to fit in for that creativity and also time to focus on myself. And I came across randomly this vision workshop, and it's seems to be pretty open as far as what we want to create in there, but it's going to be doing vision boards for what we see for ourselves in the future. And that's coming up this weekend. So I was starting to think about that already and kind of go in with a little bit of an idea of what I want to do in that vision workshop and what I want to accomplish. And it'll be fun to see how that evolves over the course of the workshop and what I come out of that workshop with. But going into it, I have enjoyed the opportunity of thinking about what do I want for myself for the future, what do I want for my daughter in the future, and how do I want to interact with the world, and what can I do to make the world a better place. There's a lot of stressors in life right now and stressful things happening in the world, and people in power that are not good influences, and leaders that I don't think provide good leadership, and it can be very depressing and disheartening. And I've been wanting to think a lot about what can I do as an individual in this world to influence those around me and to make myself a better person and to be the leader that I want to be, but in order to lead by example as my daughter is growing and learning. And as I was thinking through those things, I came up with some words that describe actions or embodiments of how I would like to show up in the world and qualities that I would want in a leader, so that my daughter can learn those things from me and that I can hopefully spread these things out into the world for those who are interacting with me to also feed off of that energy and hopefully spread these positive things out there. So as I was thinking about this, the three words that came to mind for me were confidence, kindness, and boundaries. And those are things that I think if I can embody those things, I would be so proud of myself and happy to be showing up as a leader in that way, and things that I would feel very good about my daughter growing up to be a healthy person when she would be embodying those characteristics. And just generally in the world, if more people had all of these three things connected and united together, all of us working from these values, I think the world would be a much better place. So for confidence specifically, the things that I'm thinking about around confidence are being able to speak my mind and to show up as who I am and be comfortable with that and not be deterred by somebody telling me what I should be or shouldn't be. And I feel that it's hard to speak my mind sometimes. And I want my daughter to be able to know that she has a voice and that her voice is just as important as anybody else's. And I need to be able to model that for her so that she can learn that and believe that. The next one is kindness. And I think if everybody was coming from a place of kindness to themselves and kindness to others, there would be a lot more positivity and helping each other, caring for each other, empathy in the world, and being able to validate my own emotions and validate my daughter's emotions and those around me, to say there's a reason that you're feeling this way, and that's okay. It's legitimate. You are feeling this way, and we can move forward with whatever this feeling is, but having support for oneself when it's needed, and then supporting those around myself as well to achieve that value of kindness. And wanting the best for people is part of that kindness. Wanting the best for myself and others, and not having necessarily a competitive spirit against others, but a competitive spirit of lifting everyone up and everyone doing better for myself, doing better for others. And that all comes around that aspect of kindness. And the third thing is boundaries. And I think it is a struggle sometimes to be able to set a boundary to protect myself or protect those around me. And I think this comes from, in our society, the expectations on women in particular of being so much in service to other people and not being able to say no to things. And me personally, I feel like so often I am coming from this place of not wanting to hurt somebody else's feelings or make somebody else upset. And so I end up not putting a boundary where I should be putting a boundary in order to protect myself. And having healthy boundaries is something that I want to work on and that I want to show for my daughter. So there's opportunities to work on these things abound in career, in life as a mother, and I have found it really useful lately to go to some group activities with my daughter, in a tumbling class, a movement class, and interacting with other people. And it's providing me the opportunity to recognize these things that come up where I have an opportunity to demonstrate these qualities. And I can be really uncomfortable in some of those situations, and sometimes I don't know what to do. But I think being exposed to opportunities where something uncomfortable comes up and having the opportunity to react to that and try to bring in these qualities is how I'm going to be able to get better in these areas. So today we went to a class and my daughter was next to another child, and that child ended up falling, and my daughter was scared. The kid fell next to her, and the kid got too close to her and was in her space, and she yelled no at the kid. And I was proud of her for having that boundary of knowing that that kid was in her space, and she was able to vocalize that and say no, she didn't like what was happening. And she didn't understand that that kid also was startled because that kid had just fallen and kind of was not sure what was going on. But she was sitting on the ground, and then the kid was sitting next to her. And when she said no, the kid ended up hitting her in the face. And she was very upset by it. I was startled and picked her up immediately and said, "Oh, are you hurt? Was that scary?" And she was crying and said, "Yeah, that was scary." And she was able to vocalize that to me, and that felt good to be able to communicate that. And so I felt good about my communication with my daughter. Then the mother of the kid that had hit my daughter came over and said, "Oh, what happened? Did he hit her?" And I said, "Yeah, but she's fine." And right after the words came out of my mouth, I was thinking, why did I say that? Because it's somehow just ingrained in me that I was trying to somehow smooth things over with this mother by saying, "Oh, you don't need to worry, my daughter is fine." And really, she was fine in that she wasn't physically hurt, but she wasn't fine because she was emotionally startled and scared, and possibly it hurt her, but she mostly was scared. And I thought to myself after, I could have just said that, and that would be good to model for my daughter that it's not it's not unkind to say that, and I don't need to be protecting that mother in that moment. I can be confident in saying what happened and be able to establish that boundary that it's not okay to hit people. It would have been better for me to say to the mother, yes, he hit her and she's scared. And that's just the truth of what happened. And it's demonstrating to my daughter that it's okay to be scared in that situation, and it's okay to let somebody know that she's scared in that situation, rather than saying, oh, she's okay, because she's not okay. And I think there's going to be more situations like that come up. And what I want to try to do is still, having kindness to these people, but not in the way that I need to make them feel better about what happened, because I want to be protecting my daughter, and I want to be showing her that she can have confidence in communicating that she didn't like what happened, and she can do that not just to me, but to somebody else as she gets older. And so I am working on the confidence to be able to speak that directly to someone else. And I think that I can still do that with kindness and empathy, because, it's not that her child was a mean child, or that I am trying to be negative to her child in any way. Her child was in a situation where they were scared, and so their reaction was to hit my child. But I think that this confidence and boundaries could be helpful to that mother when she is helping her child deal with that as well. Because if I were modeling what I would do if I was that mother in an ideal scenario, I would say, oh no, you were scared because you fell, and then this child yelled something loudly and you got scared again. It's okay to be scared, but it's not okay to hit people. So this is the kind of situation that is a challenge as a new parent that I'm working through, and that these values or ideals that I want to bring into my life, I think can help in these sort of situations, and model these ideals for my daughter as she's growing. And with confidence, I think I have struggled with being a first-time mom and knowing that I want to parent differently than how I was parented, but not knowing how to do that. And with having more practice, I'm starting to find that confidence and to go by feeling of what I want my daughter to feel. And these 3 ideals of confidence and kindness and boundaries, having that kind of framework, I think is going to really help me to improve that confidence in finding techniques of how to parent. So I'm looking forward to thinking about that as I do this visioning workshop. Also, I wanted to say, for boundaries, we're in the toddler stage right now, and it's all about testing boundaries and finding out where those boundaries are for her as she's growing and developing and learning about how the world works. And so being able to set and maintain boundaries and modeling that for her in my life, but also in the boundaries that I set for her, having that structure and consistency, I think is really important for her development. And trying to think of some examples to share for right now. But things like, because hitting came up recently, that sometimes she just wants to get her energy out, And so we'll do a high five, and she'll say bam and do a high five, and that helps get her energy out. But she knows that the boundary is that you can only do a high five when the other person wants to do a high five. You can't just hit someone if they aren't expecting it. So that's an example of a boundary if we don't hit people. But if we want to give somebody a high five and they want a high five, then we give a high five. And I'm also sort of around boundaries, teaching this, yes and no, and consent for this age level. It looks very simple of yes and no, and if the answer is not yes, then it's no. So I am excited for this learning journey for myself and improving these qualities in myself and being able to continuously better model these traits for my daughter so that she can grow up to be a confident and healthy person that is able to set boundaries and while also treating herself and other people with kindness. So I'm excited to see where this goes in my visioning workshop, and we're going to be creating a vision board with some art around this vision, and I'm excited to put creativity into this idea of confidence, kindness, and boundaries. And I will come back and share more on my channel in the future. But for now, I thought it was really a good thing to be able to share of where I am with my mindset and how I'm approaching motherhood at present, and where I am in my creative journey with working in some art here and there and finding some time for myself when I can, like it with this visioning workshop. I just got home from the vision boarding workshop that I signed up for, and it was so wonderful. I'm so glad that I found this. It was a bunch of mothers that were coming together at all stages, everybody from being pregnant now through to their kids have left the house, and this group of women that all had a shared experience of being a mother or becoming a mother or being mothered by someone, and everybody shared from their heart and created their own vision board. And we all got the opportunity to introduce ourselves and share why we were there and what we were feeling in that moment. And my thoughts evolved over the time between when I was thinking about the anticipation of going to the workshop and actually being there. And I shared about the challenges of wanting to find more confidence in myself and motherhood and being an example to my daughter so that she can learn from example and learn confidence, and talked about my struggles with the world right now and feeling the need for more kindness in the world and more community. And this ended up being the perfect space for me to be able to share that and to find that community that I was looking for. And I ended up connecting with several mothers that had similar age children. So this was a great first step for me in building that community and finding like-minded people that are interested in having community and spreading kindness and having love for one another and supporting each other. And I'm so grateful that I found this opportunity. I think I connected with people that I will be reaching out to connect with again with our children and start building that community of like-minded people. And I'll share the vision board that I created. There were a bunch of books and magazines and things to pick from, and I picked out some backgrounds that I thought were very beautiful. Space, snowy, wintry kind of scene, pictures of the moon, and all of these things are beautiful and lonely. And that is how I had been feeling, is this feeling of loneliness and wanting to create community. And I found these pictures of all these beautiful people. And so I took these faces out and put this purple heart around them. I was drawn to the color purple because that's my daughter's favorite color. And I found some words that I took out of some of the magazines. This says, "This miraculous journey called life." And that is so meaningful to think about how lucky I feel to be in this life and to have my daughter. And despite all of the challenges, to have hope for the future. And I want to take that hope and turn it into action and confidence. And I hope to do that with community. So I found this word that says "your friend" and the face of love. And then here are two people holding hands. One risky hand reaches for another. Our differences cease. All else is irrelevant. And I think this is very hopeful and models the future that I envision for myself and for the world. Thank you so much for watching. I feel so happy to have this experience and to be able to share it. And I look forward to sharing more in the future. It's the next day after I attended the vision workshop. And last night, as I was going to bed, I was reflecting on my time there and how wonderful it was to be in the company of other women and finding women that specifically had in their mindset of working on their vision for the future and their vision as mothers, and coming together in a safe space to share with others and be creative. And the beauty of that environment is so touching to me. And I am still just so thankful that I had that opportunity. And as I think about each person that was there, I think about all of these little connections and things we had in common, feelings that we shared or experiences that we had that were similar. And it's such a good reminder, especially with all of the division out there right now, that we all, as humans, as mothers, have so much in common in wanting the best for ourselves and our families and our children and the future. And I'm so grateful for the experience, and I'm really looking forward to having more opportunities to connect with people and try to latch on to that hope for the future and make a positive impact in what little ways I can. And I've been reaching out to a few of the women that I connected with there to just follow up, and hopefully we'll be able to get together again in the future. And I just wanted to share my thoughts after stewing on it a little while, just how impactful it was and how helpful it was to be honest with myself and be in this safe space of other people going through similar things. And I hope that if you're someone who needs that, that you're able to find that for yourself wherever you are. And I hope that hearing my experience helps you as well. And I look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Thanks so much for being here.